Good morning, students. From your textbook Footprints Without Feet, we are doing chapter number 9, Bholi, written by K.A. Abbas. Khwaja Ahmad Abbas was a famous Indian film director, novelist, screenwriter, and a journalist in Urdu, Hindi, and English languages. He was the maker of films like Saath Hindustani and Do Boond Pani, which won the National Film Award for Best Feature Film on National Integration. He wrote screen scripts of the best of Raj Kapoor's films like Avara, Shri 420, Mera Naam Joker, and Bobby. He was born in the family of famous Urdu poet Ali, who was a student of Mirza Ghalib. Bholi is a story of Sulekha. She is a young girl neglected by all. Education transforms her. It inspires courage and confidence in her. She raises her voice for her rights. Her name was Sulekha, but since her childhood, everyone had been calling her Bholi, the simpleton. So, this is the story of Bholi, but her name is actually Sulekha, but then she is called as Bholi. She was the fourth daughter of Namardar Ramlal. When she was 10 years old, she had fallen off the cot on her head and perhaps it had damaged some part of her brain. That was why she remained a backward child and came to be known as Boli the simpleton. So we come to know that she is the fourth daughter of Namardar Ramlal. When she was 10 years, she had fallen from the cot, that is the bed, and she has fallen on her head. That is the reason some part of her brain might have got damaged, and she had remained backward from then onwards, and therefore that is the reason Sulekha is called as Bholi, and Bholi means the simpleton. At birth, the child was very fair and pretty, but when she was about 2 years old, she had an attack of smallpox. So, when she was born, she was beautiful, she was fair, she was good looking, but when she turned two, she got an attack of smallpox. Only the eyes were saved, but the entire body was permanently disfigured by deep black pockmarks. So only the eyes were saved, but then that smallpox attack was so much that the face and body entirely was disfigured. Little Sulekha could not speak till she was 5, and when at last she learned to speak, she stammered. So Sulekha did not speak till until she turned 5, but after 5 years old she started speaking. But then she did not speak fluently, she did not speak in clarity, she used to stutter. The other children often made fun of her and mimicked her, so the other children started laughing at her and copied her when she used to stammer. As a result, she talked very little, and that is the reason she used to speak very little. Ramlal had 7 children, 3 sons and 4 daughters, and the youngest of them was Boli. So Ramlal had 7 children, 3 were sons, 4 daughters. Of the 4 daughters, the youngest daughter was Boli. It was a prosperous farmer's household, and there was plenty to eat and drink. Ramlal was a well to do man, as he was the Lamardar of the village, so there was no lack of comfort in his home. All the children except Bholi were healthy and strong. The sons had been sent to the city to study in school and later in colleges, so every child was healthy except Bholi. And the sons were sent to study and in the city in school and colleges. Of the daughters, rather, the eldest had already been married. The second daughter, Mangla's marriage had also been settled, and when that was done, Ramlal would think of the third Champa. So Ramlal got his eldest daughter Radha married, and Mangla also was settled. So he started wondering and thinking about the bridegroom for her third daughter, that is Champa. They were good looking, healthy girls, and it was not difficult to find bridegrooms for them. But Ramlal was worried about Bholi. She had neither good looks nor intelligence. Now, all the girls except Bholi were good looking and healthy. There was no difficulty in marrying them. Ramlal was worried about Bholi. She had neither good looks nor intelligence. Boli was 7 years old when Mangla was married. The same year, a primary school for girls was opened in their village. The Tehsildar Sahib came to perform its opening ceremony. He said to Ramlal, as a revenue officer, you are the representative of the government in the village, and so you must set an example to the villagers. You must send your daughters to school. Now, when Mangla got married, Bholi was 7 years old, and at that time, primary school was set up and it was opened in their village also. So, the Tehsildar did the inauguration ceremony of that school. So, at the opening ceremony, he asked Ramlal that you should set an example in the village by sending your daughters to school. That night, when Ramlal consulted his wife, she cried, are you crazy? If girls go to school, who will marry them? So Ramlal informs what the Tehsildar said about sending the girls to school to his wife, but then the wife objected that no one would marry the girls if they went to school. But Ramlal had not the courage to disobey the Tehsildar. At last, his wife said, I will tell you what to do. Send Bholi to school, as there is little chance of her getting married with her ugly face and lack of sense. Let the teachers at school worry about her. Now the mother said what she felt that Bholi was ugly and it would be difficult to get a bridegroom for her and to get her married. So she said that decided to send Bholi to school, and Ramlal also did not had a courage to say no to Tehsildar. So the mother said let the teachers worry about her at school. The next day, Ramlal caught Bholi by the hand and said, come with me, I will take you to school. Bholi was frightened. She did not know what a school was like. So the next day, Ramlal decided to send Bholi to school, so he took the hand of girl and said that let's go to school. Now Bholi was all frightened. She was fearful of going to school. She remembered how a few days ago their old cow Lakshmi had been turned out of the house and sold. So she only remembered that how Lakshmi was taken from the house and sold. So she got worried that where is the father taking her. No, 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 no. She shouted in terror and pulled her hand away from her father's grip. So Boli was frightened and she shouted in terror and she removed her hand from the father's hold. What's the matter with you, you fool? Shouted Ramlal. I'm only taking you to school. So the father was amazed that why she is so afraid. So he tells her that it's just a school there where I'm taking you. Then he told his wife, let her wear some decent clothes today, or else what will the teachers and the other schoolgirls think of us when they see her? Now Ramlal tells his wife that today let her wear decent clothes as she is going school for the first time. The teachers and school girls might form a wrong opinion if she goes untidily to school. New clothes had been made for Bholi. The old dresses of her sisters were passed on to her. No one cared to mend or wash her clothes. Now, Bholi was never provided or never given new clothes. New clothes. So she had been like the elder sister's clothes were passed to her. They were neither washed nor mended. But today she was lucky to receive a clean dress which had been shrunk after many washings and no longer fitted jumper. So today she was given a neat and clean dress. This dress was shrunk and did not fit jumper. So she was given one. She had even bathed and oil was rubbed into her hair, dry and matted hair. So she was given a bath and a hair was oiled. Only then did she begin to believe that she was being taken to a place better than a home. Now she felt better. She thought of a school as a nice place. All these years, no one had taken so much care of her. When they reached the school, the children were already in their classrooms. Ramlal handed over his daughter to the headmistress. Left alone, the poor girl looked about her with fear laden eyes. Now, when they reached school, that is, Ramlal and Bholi reached school, the children were already there in the classroom. So, Ramlal handed Bholi to the headmistress, and the girl, that is Bholi, she was all fearful. There were several rooms, and in each room, girls like her squatted on mats, reading from books or writing on slates. The headmistress asked Bholi to sit down in a corner in one of the classrooms. Now Bholi saw that there were very several rooms, and in each room she saw girls like her own age. They were sitting on the mats, squatted on the mats, and they were reading into books or writing something on the slate. So the headmistress asked Bholi to sit in one of the corners of the classroom. Boli did not know what exactly a school was like and what happened there, but she was glad to find so many girls, almost of her own age, present there. She hoped that one of these girls might become her friend. Now, she did not know what school is all about, what school is, what education is, what studies it, but she knew that the girls over there were of her age group, and she thought that maybe in time she would become friends with any of the girls. The lady teacher who was in the class was saying something to the girls, but Bholi could understand nothing. Now the teacher was explaining something, but Bholi was not able to make out what the teacher was saying. She looked at the pictures on the walls. The colors fascinated her. The horse was brown, just like the horse on which the Tehsildar had come to visit their village. The goat was black like the goat of their neighbor. The parrot was green like the parrot she had seen in the mango orchard, and the cow was just like their Lakshmi. So, Boli was not able to understand what the teacher was saying. She was getting fascinated to the classroom walls where there were many animals pictures on it, and she was relating those animal pictures to the things she has seen around. The horse was brown, and this was the horse. This was a similar horse that the Tehsildar comes to visit the village. Then she saw the picture of a goat which was black, and it was similar to the goat of the neighborhood. And then she saw the parrot, the green parrot that she has seen in the mango trees, mango orchard. And then she saw the cow, and the cow was similar to her Lakshmi. And suddenly, Boli noticed that the teacher was standing by her side, smiling at her. And then she notices the teacher very close by, standing very close by to her and smiling. What's your name, little one? So the teacher questions her, uh, what is her name? She could stammer no further than that. Now Boli could not speak her words, she could not introduce herself, she was stuck, she started stammering. Then she began to cry, and tears flowed from her eyes in the helpless flood. She kept her head down as she sat in her corner, not daring to look up at the girls who she knew were still laughing at her. She could not introduce herself to the teacher, so she started crying. Tears rolled out from her eyes, and then she held her head down in embarrassment and she sat in the corner of the room. She did not have the daring to look at the girls because she knew they might be laughing as she stammered. She could not introduce herself. When the school bell rang, all the girls scurried out of the classroom, but Bholi dared not leave her corner. Her head still lowered, she kept on sobbing. Now the school was over, the school bell rang, all the girls they ran out, they hurried out to their homes, but Bholi did not have the daring to leave. She was sitting in her corner in one of the corner of the classroom, and her head was held low and she was sobbing. Bholi, the teacher's voice was so soft and soothing. In all her life, she had never been called like that. It touched her heart. So the teacher announces her name, Bholi, and the voice was so soft, so comforting, so soothing that she felt confidence in her. It touched her heart. Get up, said the teacher. It was not a command, but just a friendly suggestion. Polly got up. Now, tell me your name. Now, the teacher asked her to get up, and Polly does get up, and again the teacher questions her to tell her name. Sweat broke out over her whole body. Would her stammering tongue again disgrace her? For the sake of this kind woman, however, she decided to make an effort. She had just a soothing voice. She would not laugh at her. Buh, buh, bo, bo, she began to stammer. Now, when the teacher said to tell name, she was all sweating. She was again um, afraid that the tongue would not cooperate her, and the tongue is going to she would stammer and she would have to face the shame, disgrace. But then the teacher spoke in such sweet voice, such soft voice, that she felt confidence in her and she thought that I should try. And she said her name, but then again it did not come out fluently. She stammered. Well done, well done. The teacher encouraged her. Come on now, the full name. So the teacher encouraged her. The teacher did not laugh at Bholi and she encouraged to make an effort again. And she again asked her to speak her name. Bah, bah, bo, Polly. At last she was able to say it and felt relieved as if it was a great achievement. And then, with the encouragement of the teacher, did make an effort to speak her name. And then, yes, she did stammer, but then she spoke her name, Polly. And she felt so happy, so satisfied, so relieved that it was a great achievement that she said her name after all. Well done. The teacher patted her affectionately and said, put the fear out of your heart and you will be able to speak like everyone else. Boli looked up as if to ask, really? So the teacher encourages her and gives her a mild stroke on her shoulder and praises her, saying, well done. And she says to Boli that to put her fear out of the heart, and then with the passage of time, she would be able to speak like any other child in the school. So when the teacher said so, Bholi was amazed and she felt confidence and she wanted to ask teacher, really? Will that happen? Yes, yes, it will be very easy. You just come to school every day. Will you come? Bholi nodded. No, say it aloud. So teacher said that you have to come to school every day, and Bholi with gestures agreed to it. But then the teacher said, no, you speak out. Yeah, yeah, yes. And Bholi herself was astonished that she had been able to say it. So Bholi was herself astonished to speak. Yes. Didn't I tell you? Now take this book. The book was full of nice pictures, and the pictures were in color: dog, cat, goat, horse, parrot, tiger, and a cow, just like Lakshmi. And with every picture was a word in big black letters. So the teacher gave Bholi a book, and this book had many, many pictures with colors. And these pictures were of dog, cat, goat, and cow, similar to Lakshmi. And every picture had a name on it written, and that were in big black letters. In 1 month, you will be able to read this book. Then I will give you a bigger book, then a still bigger one. In time, you will be more learned than anyone else in the village. Then, no one will ever be able to laugh at you. People will listen to you with respect, and you will be able to speak without the slightest stammer. Understand? Now go home and come back early tomorrow morning. Now the teacher gives her a book. This book had pictures, and the teacher said that take this book and I'm going to provide you with a bigger book after a while, and slowly you will become educated, you will be learned, and then nobody will laugh at you or disrespect you. You are going to earn a name and you will not stammer also. Boli felt as if suddenly all the bells in the village temple were ringing and the trees in front of the schoolhouse had blossomed into big red flowers. Her heart was throbbing with a new hope and a new life. So the teacher said to her that you will earn respect and you would be able to speak, and she asked her to go home but then to come tomorrow morning back to school. And Boli was filled up with so much encouragement and confidence that she visualized that everything was beautiful, whether it was the ringing of the temple bells or the beauty of the trees in front of the schoolhouse. Everywhere the flowers were blooming, and she was all full of hope of a new beginning, a new life that this education would provide to her, and especially the teacher who is going to bring all the difference in her life, making her confident and not laughing at her, and making her learn that she can earn the respect with, and people would listen to her, and she would not stammer anymore.